welcome to yet another episode of One Take, and I come to you right with the Hawa Mahal, the beautiful Hawa Mahal right behind me. So your guess is right. I'm in Jaipur, which is one of the poll-bound states. But I've been traveling to other states, for example, Madhya Pradesh as well. So this week I'm going to do a quick recap of all the states going in for polls, what it means, what's happening behind the scenes, and what kind of repercussions may happen. Well, usually state elections are considered to be a dress rehearsal for the Lok Sabha elections. I remember in 2014, just before that, the same states went for polls and it was seen as a dress rehearsal, and it was believed that whichever party which won at the state level is going to win at the Lok Sabha one as well. Doesn't always work out, because I still remember the Congress had done well in the state elections, but of course, as we all know, they lost out in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. Well, the Congress has a reason to be gung-ho about these state polls. They have a high hope from Rajasthan, where I am at this point of time, despite the cyclical pattern and an anti-incumbency and many allegations against the Ashok Gehlot government. But it's also very, very hopeful of Madhya Pradesh, where they feel that more than 15 years of Shivraj Singh Chauhan's Raj means that it's the turn of Kamal Nath now. And of course, Chhattisgarh, despite the controversy over the Mahadev app, the Congress doesn't think it's going to have an impact on their fortunes, and they think it's going to be a cakewalk because, as they point out, the BJP doesn't really have much of a show there, nor a face who can match up to Bhupesh Baghel. But down south, Telangana could be the real story. Who would have thought that from being the third party in the race, they've now emerged as the second, which means the battle for Telangana is now between the BRS versus the Congress. So let's go state by state and discuss this on one take. And then I'm going to wrap up by asking you this question as always, and do respond on the social media platforms. Do you think the results will have an impact on the Lok Sabha? And do you think it's going to change the narrative, most importantly for the Congress, because that is one political party which needs to be back in the race, and how? So let's begin with Rajasthan, because I'm over here at this point of time. Well, Ashok Gehlot is fighting one of his toughest battles because of two things. One, the perception that his government has not been able to deliver as far as the students' demands are concerned, or whether it's in terms of women's safety. Interestingly, women card is something which is being put forward strongly both by him as well as by the BJP. So the BJP is asking this question of the Gandhis and also of Ashok Gehlot, that you are wooing the women voters, but there have been so many cases of rape in the city, in and around Jaipur, and also in the state, where the government has not been able to take much action. So what women power or women empowerment are you talking about? Ashok Gehlot, of course, has completely scotched this, and there have been many offers which have been made to them and announcements which have often been done by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well. What worked for the Congress in Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh vis-a-vis Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's campaign, the party hopes it works for it over here in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, like in Punjab and many other states, it believes in a cyclical pattern. If it's the BJP this time round, it's the Congress next time round. But in politics, one thing which is very certain is the uncertainty. I remember when I covered the Punjab elections, and it was the time of the Congress party, but Akali Dal had come back to power consecutively, and Captain Amrinder Singh had lost out on that seat. At that point of time, he was there in the Congress. So who knows, the Congress is quite hopeful that this time round in Rajasthan also, things could work in their favor. What I sense from the ground is that there may be a little bit of restlessness with the Congress party, but there is no strong anti-incumbency against Ashok Gehlot himself per se. In fact, the anti-incumbency is against his MLAs. Many of the sitting MLAs who interestingly still got the tickets, but many of his ministers people are angry with. So they feel that if you change the ministers, you may actually end up saving the Congress party in the state. Will this calculation really work? Because not too many big ticket changes have been made, but some of the die-hard loyalists of Ashok Gehlot like Shanti Dhariwal are there. Also on the ground, many people felt that this whole fight between Pilot and Gehlot has been stretched too much. But it also took a lot of energy of both Pilot as well as Gehlot, where Pilot actually could have used this time to build himself up. Instead, he was more seen as someone who's trying to fight for himself and Gehlot was seen as fighting to save his government rather than fighting for the people. For the BJP, of course, they feel that all these issues will work in their favor. Let's go down south to Telangana. Now that's the story, because the Congress party was the one which was in power at the center when a separate state of Telangana was created. And the Congress today is now trying to make that claim. But once again, the woman card is being played very strongly, and some very funky campaigns like the ATM one, which was working for them in Karnataka, they are hoping it's going to work for them in Telangana. Of course, a 10-year anti-incumbency, corruption allegations against KCR are also something which the Congress party is pitching itself on. But will the BJP play the spoiler there in dividing the anti-KCR votes? Madhya Pradesh, where I travel, again, it's a neck-to-neck fight. I will not say it's a complete sweep for the Congress party, and many are talking about, because I did see the Ladli Behna Yojana of Shivraj Singh Chauhan really work for the BJP. BJP is trying to counter the anti-incumbency of Shivraj, or Mamaji as he is called, by trying to send out that message that if the BJP wins, it's not necessary that Mamaji becomes the chief minister. Will that work? Will Kamal Nath's wooing of women voters, the fact that last time round he got the mandate and there was dhokadhadi with him, work in his favor? Chhattisgarh, very quickly, Mahadev app, the controversy. Beyond that, not many even within the BJP think it's going to work against him, because he's very strong, especially as far as the women and the tribal voters are concerned. And T.S. Singh Deo rivalry is not going to work against him. But more importantly, the BJP has not been able to come up with a strong face. Coming back to the question I began with as I start wrapping up, is it going to be a kind of a reflection on the Lok Sabha? I don't think so, because the pattern has often shown that what works in state elections may not work for Lok Sabha. In fact, when I traveled through Madhya Pradesh, many told me that at the state level we may think of a change, but in Lok Sabha we would want to vote for Modi or for the BJP. Will that be it for 2024 Lok Sabha elections? But it's all about setting the pace. It's all about building up the perception. If the Congress party does very well in these state elections, it's back in the race. It's going to start flexing its muscles vis-a-vis not just the BJP, but also the India Front Alliance, which seems to be very rocky at this point of time. For the BJP, it doesn't want to derail the perception that a Modi magic works. But at the state elections, you won't see the Prime Minister campaigning too hard. I think his energy is reserved for the best and the strongest and the biggest fight, which is the Lok Sabha election. Do give in your reactions on the social media timeline. Do you agree with me? And what do you think? What's your guess? What's going to happen? Thank you so much for watching.